Society International. And we're here at our temporary shelter that we're running with the Humane Society of the United States. And this is Tita. Tita is one of our dogs that has recently come from South Korea. She was rescued from the dog meat trade. And we're here right now in the shelter where we recently, last month, brought 170 dogs that were rescued. Tita, what are you doing, silly girl? And so right now we're working with the dogs. They've already gone through medical exams. Tita actually ended up being positive for kennel cough, which I'm sure if you are familiar with dogs in shelters, oftentimes, especially when there's lots of dogs together, it's a very contagious but very treatable disease. So luckily, Tita has already cleared the kennel cough, and she is healthy and obviously very healthy appetite. And she is just doing wonderful here at the shelter. Tita, do you want to show you learn how to sit? Want to sit? No? We've been sitting here playing for a while, so she may be a little over it, but she is just a fantastic dog. And the next big step, and I know that's what people are always wondering, what's next for these dogs. So Tita, along with many of the dogs this week, are going to be going out to some of our shelter and rescue partners. And that is a huge step for them, just about as big as them coming all the way from South Korea, because that means that we now feel that they are ready and adoptable and ready to go into a home. And as you can see, Tita is very well-adjusted. She likes to interact with people. She likes treats. She's, want this one over here? Good girl. She has, I think, actually kind of enjoyed. We had to separate her from the rest of the crowd for a while, just as she was recovering from kennel cough, to make sure she didn't spread that to the rest of the dogs. But I think she's kind of liked her sort of special care area over here near where a lot of our volunteers take their breaks. So she's gotten lots of extra treats and attention, which she loves. And we're super excited for Tita to take on her next step. Dogs like Tita are, it's amazing that she is this well-adjusted, and that we actually see the majority of the dogs tend to be like her. They may have a little bit of apprehension in the initial part of coming to us, considering all that they've been through, but they bounce back amazingly. You can just see she is going to make somebody just an incredible companion. I'm a little jealous of whoever gets to adopt Tita. She's adorable, and she's just got the most lovely personality. And all this work it just takes so much, and we're so grateful that we're able to do this and help dogs like Tita, because obviously this is not an animal that deserves to be in a cage, nor does really any animal deserve to be in a cage. And so please, if you're watching this, check out our donate button and click on that. That enables us to be ready and come and help dogs like Tita and all animals, and ensure that they are really living the lives that they deserve. So I think Tita is on her way. She'll be, I think, just scooped up by somebody very quickly. She's, as you can see, she's fantastic. So Tita, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Should we go see the rest of the dogs? Yeah, good girl. All right. Whew. We've got lots of fans going in this shelter right now. It's a bit warm, but luckily, yeah, let's see. Leave her some treats here so that we can get out safely. Come here, Tita. All right. We'll step out. Good girl. And I would be remiss if I didn't comment on the fact that our operation here would not be as fantastic and well run as it is if it weren't for our volunteers. We have so many volunteers that come and help out. Endless laundry. It goes on forever, and we're just so grateful that we have people that not only come and help us, but do it with a smile on their face. And one of the really great things that our volunteers help us with is ensuring that we have lots of enrichment, because we realize this temp shelter is only meant to be temporary. We don't want dogs to have to be in this kind of situation long term, right? But we want to make the best of it for as long as they're with us. And so some of the stuff that we do here, hopefully you can hear me over the fan, but right now we've got a lot of our volunteers they're working on, these look like probably med balls, so getting stuff ready. So some of the dogs do need medication, and so they'll get them in these different things. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Super important. Thank you guys. But yeah, these guys they come and they work so hard, and they're just so happy to be here, and we're so grateful for them. Making some, looks like some popsicles for the dogs. So all these different ideas. By the way, you can do this stuff at home. I do this for my own dogs. So it's something that's really important for the dogs to help keep them, interested and engaged and getting lots of different treats, because obviously there's only so much that we can give them in the environment here. And Justine here is, thank you, Justine. So they're making some really adorable and fun little ice cream cones for the dogs. So as you can see, it takes a village to really make this work. And so we couldn't do this without our staff and our volunteers, and we're so grateful to have them. And again, all of this is a product too of our supporters. So please, again, check out the donate button, look for that, click on that and donate. You're helping all these dogs, plus all animals that HSUS and HSI are fighting to help and fight the good fight. Hello guys! So all of these dogs are going to be getting their own individual enrichment here soon. Hello, sweetie. This is one of our younger pups. She was actually born on a farm that we closed, but was too young to travel with that farm. So thankfully now is here and going on to, hi Mantis. Oh, you're such a good boy. I know it. So some of these young guys, they're headed out very soon. And we can't wait to see where they end up. Mantis he's a house favorite. He's such a sweet boy. Yes, good boy, Mantis. Your treat's coming, don't worry. You can see that this might look a little bit different. So as dogs go out to the partners, we're able to reconfigure the kennels and redesign it to continue to do our best to make sure that the environment that we're setting up for the animals are meeting their individual needs. Because as you'll see and as we go on, they do all have individual needs and requirements. So we were gonna come see Amaya, but it looks like Amaya might have something going on here. Is it okay for us to say hi to Amaya? Absolutely. Great. Thank you guys. This is Amaya. He's a gorgeous man. We're gonna get in here and, good boy. Good boy.
What do you got here for Amaya?
So for Amaya, oops, sorry. Technical difficulties. Got a little ice cream cone with some whipped cream and some different treats on it. What do you think, Amaya? Hey, big guy. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's so good. Amaya can't decide if this is better or just hanging out with us is good enough. So again, like Tita, I mean, I sometimes just can't get over like how well, these dogs come around and let us into their lives. Under socialized, generally don't, haven't had any of the comforts that any of us would expect, any animal or human should have to live a quality life. Hey, bud, you want the cone? You don't want this cone? You want that cone. So these sorts of things are really important. Making sure the dogs have toys. They get Kongs filled with different things. So we actually have a calendar, and so we rotate through different enrichment so we can find out what works really well for the dogs, what they like, what they don't really care that much about. And that sort of stuff is also useful, not just for, just the intrinsic value for the dogs to enjoy having these things, but also if we know we have to do a move or we have to maybe do something that could be a little bit more stressful, we know what works for them, we know what they really like, and that way we can introduce those things to help the situation be a little less stressful or scary for them. Hi, Babas. Oh my goodness, those are the best smells. Yes. So as you can see, Amaya is okay, sorry about that. Amaya is a little bit on the thin side, and so we who were working on, some of the dogs came really thin and needed to have some 3 meals, really working on getting their weights up. So Amaya's been in part of that practice where he gets a midday meal to help beef up this, are you gonna want this? Beef up his body condition, but he's getting there slowly. Hey, buddy. And so as you may have noticed, Amaya has not been neutered yet, but that is something that most of the dogs will have done at the partners. Occasionally we do have it spay neutered done with the dogs with us, depending on how long they're here in the temp shelter and what their medical needs are. But luckily, all of our partners otherwise will make sure that before they go off to their new homes, they will be spay or neutered, and any other, if they need any other vet checks or anything. Oh, you know, you're such a good boy. And so, again, I mean, as you can see, it's just such a lovely thing to be here, and we wouldn't be able to be doing this without your support. So if you're just tuning in with us, please click on the donate button. Anywhere on your screen, I don't know if it's to the left or right, below, check it out, click on that, and just know that your donation is life-saving, and it's going to help dogs like Amaya, but also all animals. So please, if you're able to, please click on that donate button. Looks like Amaya's finally, he's making a bit of a mess getting in this with his shavings, but that's okay. Good job, Amaya. Yeah, look at that tail go. Happy dog. All right, Amaya, we're gonna leave you. Let's say, I have to say hi to someone else. All right, Amaya, I'm gonna leave you with some goodies here. Ready? Wanna check that out? Put a little extra, oh, good boy, he'll find that.
Someone's asking if they get outside, get enrichment, stuff like that.
Yeah, so obviously they get lots of enrichment. We're gonna back out a different way here with him, just to make sure we don't have any escapes. Do you mind going first? So, where we are right now, it's a bit more challenging to do actual outside or leash work. But as, like I said, this is a temporary step for the dogs. And look at this, Maya, look. I know you want to stay with us, buddy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. I know. One thing that we're able to do that we will be starting to do very soon is setting up play groups. So we'll be creating larger areas. We will start to have some outside capacity for some of the dogs. But right now, again, this is sort of like a triage situation in the beginning, where we're just trying to get an idea of, hi River, hi good boy, where all the dogs are at, how we can best get them into their next step in the next phase. And I think that brings us to a really good point with the next dog that we're going to meet, who is Juniper. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with her, and then I'll talk a little bit more. But Juniper, as you can see, has suffered quite an extensive wound. Hey, Juniper. Hi. Hi, good girl. So Juniper came from one of our the last farms that we closed right before this trip, the flight that came with the dogs in end of May. And Juniper, I'm sure you can already notice, is quite a different temperament than Tita or Amaya, who are very outgoing and friendly and very well adjusted. Juniper is definitely much quieter. She's a little more reserved, and she is often a lot like many of the dogs that we deal with, where we are trying to help them recover more emotionally and mentally from the trauma that I've experienced. Obviously, Juniper also suffered quite a bit of physical trauma, and we don't know exactly what happened to Juniper. This farm, actually, we supported getting the dogs out, but had already been closed by the government beforehand, so we didn't have direct information on some of the dogs. What we suspect, because of what we've seen with other dogs on other farms, many of even these big tosas are kept together in cages or chained right next to each other, and the frustration of their environment, the lack of proper food and everything else, fights break out and happen, and they are not usually able to, or don't, it's not profitable to necessarily seek veterinary care. So if a dog had attacked Juniper and partially removed her ear, it would probably be more cost efficient just to remove the rest of the ear and let it heal on its own, rather than seek veterinary treatments and have something that would be potentially less of a scar. So that is, we don't know exactly, but definitely Juniper has been through a bit. She is, as you can see, she is so gentle. She is so sweet. And she will be one, like many of the others, that will take some of that extra time. And people, just a few weeks ago, Juniper wasn't really ready to take treats. So she's definitely gotten to a point where she's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this. I'm okay with this. And so that's a lot of what we do. So it's less once we get the dogs out to the partners, they're able to do a lot of that outdoor exercise and all those things that we really think about that dogs should get, which is wonderful. But this is something that we can help them make that next step, because sometimes the outside's actually really, or a big open space is really scary for a dog like Juniper, even though she's a big girl. So.
Can you talk about, is it rewarding to get to see them come around like this?
Yes, it is definitely. I can't really think of a single thing that is more rewarding than seeing a dog like Juniper, who was terrified and wouldn't let you near her, and now being able to sit next to her and hand her treats and have her take them with just the most gracious little sweetness of her lips. She is just so tender and sweet. Obviously, she's kind of won me over. And it is the best gift, and this is definitely why we do all this work. I think anybody that works with animals or in shelters or anything like this knows it's not glamorous, sweaty and dirty all the time, but if it's these moments and seeing a dog progress and know that she's gonna make it into that next phase and get into a home. Good girl, Juniper. Even just this phone being so close to her and having somebody else is another step for her that she's making. And again, a dog like Juniper wouldn't have the opportunity for all this if it wasn't for our supporters. And so again, look around your screen, find that donate button, please click on it. Please continue to help us help dogs and help all animals, because these fights don't necessarily get easier, but we are making progress. And I think that's one of the really important things about this particular campaign and rescue work is things are changing in South Korea, and we're seeing that regularly on a daily basis. 3-5 years ago, we wouldn't have had the collaboration. These dogs were saved because local Korean NGOs and local authorities called us and asked us to get these dogs out, not because we went in and tried to get them out on our own. So I think that's so important to recognize that there is such a huge culture shift that's happening that's allowing us to help these dogs, and so we need to just keep up with it, keep the pace with what's happening abroad, and make sure that we can continue helping them and all animals. And again, I really just appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in and listening. And before you hit end, please find that donate button and click, and we'll continue. As long as you keep donating, we'll keep helping animals and helping dogs like Juniper. So thank you so much. All animals.